So essentially, if you're looking at what the Western Balkans should do in relation to CBAM, I think the first thing to realize is that nobody has done this before on any scale by a sovereign state to develop a carbon border adjustment mechanism. That's CBAM. The European Union hasn't done it, the UK hasn't done it. This is a new thing. And as I was saying during the conference, the impact of whatever legislation that has been adopted, despite all the thought and what's gone into it, it's yet to hit reality. And when it hits reality, we will see what happens. As the old adage goes, no battle plan survives contact with the enemy. And the same is with a new piece of legislation which has never been tried before. And so there are a whole host of things, and there's probably going to be lots of adaptation. What I would say is really what the Western Balkans perhaps should be looking at is something which is of their own nature, which tries to deal with CBAM, but recognizes the complexities of the EU system, the need to develop something which might work. So what would that be? I think part of it is if you're going to have a CBAM system, in order to avoid a situation in fact, in order to make it work more effectively, you're going to need some form of local carbon tax or emissions trading system. Well, you don't want to. You could go down the emissions trading system route, but if you did that and adopted that on top of a CBAM, the problem would be, first of all, is the complexity. That is quite a complex process to do. It took the Brits and the EU states years to get this in place. Perhaps a carbon tax would be easier, and that would keep a lot of the costs of the carbon regime and the revenues from it in Serbia and in the Western Balkans. So that's an option. There's another issue, of course, that it's much easier for everyone to cooperate. Now, I realize cooperation is not easy, but it's a thought given the difficulties of the system. And you do have a structure with the energy community system already to potentially work with that to get something working. So there are all those elements of it. There's no how can I put it? There's no out-of-the-box package you can just take and adopt. There's no cutting and pasting of somebody else's system. You have to sort of shape it for your reality, but that is possible.